here we go again on our own. Hey friends, welcome back to the Renewed Homestead. Ben and Loki here, and it's a sweltery day, and we owe you a video. Last Saturday we did our first chicken butchery by ourselves, and overall it went well, but we just thought we had to, don't really want to do a 3 lessons learned kind of thing, just kind of a debriefing, if you will. You've seen us help Billy over at Permapastures Farm butcher chickens. I've had the one-off rooster that had to go kind of thing, but we actually full-scale setup, boiling water, chicken feather plucker. Careful how you say that.
Chicken plucker.
Yeah, we did invite a couple of friends over. Now, I didn't necessarily teach a class, and I wouldn't dare to even call it a class, but it went, generally it went well. It was a very, very long day. We got up at 6 o'clock, got our chores done, told our friends to be here at 8 o'clock. So from 8 o'clock on, we were full bore, took a little bit of a lunch break, but other than that, we actually didn't get done cleaning up, bleaching everything, putting the knives in the sink. It was 9 o'clock at night. That was a long day. It was a very long day. And any day that you're taking lives, it's not only physically, but it's an emotionally challenging day. So anyway, want to talk a little bit about that, but why am I standing here? You're looking at this thing behind me going, what in the world? Well, this is an old water cistern. I thought, it was caked up with mud, and I thought this was not working. Well, technically it isn't, but there's the concrete tank where the water actually seeps in from the mountainside down to a reservoir down here, and I've been working on cleaning that out and see if we can't rejuvenate that, because we're on the logging road right now, up in the pasture. So if we can get this sustainable, we can actually bring the lines down and start running water for our animals down there, because otherwise this is the stuff going into that culvert that you saw that I capped off and right back into the stream. So there's no reason why we can't use this. So I'm working on that. That's the pasture area where you saw us pounding the T-posts. You can probably tell from my shirt, we just finished pounding in the last one on the upper pasture. Denise is up there putting the insulators on there. But anyway, back to the birds. Let's talk about that for a few minutes here. This is a part of the property you have not seen much, probably a couple of times, but a bunch of dead pines here. Those are coming down. That's going to be the staging area for when they are logging. From where I'm standing to your right, basically straight up that mountain and back this way is where they'll be logging. That leaves all the rest of this untouched. We would not sell the whole thing, and they are not clear cutting. Anyway, that's a whole different matter. You don't, for this video, you really don't care. Got a little spring water tributary here that goes down past that water cistern that we were just talking about and back onto the stream. But back to the birds. Denise says I'm a little scatterbrained, or bird-brained in this case.
I just may have to use my brain.
It was a good day, and I'm going to refer to Billy many times because he's the one that taught us. He says, when you evangelize something, you're learning it. When you teach it, you learn it twice, and that's so true, because I've processed birds with him a couple of times. Like I said, I did a couple on my own, but until you really get into a groove, and until you're showing somebody else, it's kind of like, okay, am I doing this right? This doesn't seem right. And I'll admit, I pulled the lifeline, called Billy, said, hey buddy, I was having trouble with finding the craw in their throat. We pulled up a video of Josh over at Stony Ridge Farm, and he's like, yeah, get in there and get the squishy thing and yank it out. And I don't think that's how Billy did it. So we talked for just a couple minutes, and thank you, Billy, again, both for teaching us and for the lifeline call. But other than that, it went really well. we kind of got ahead of ourselves in we got birds in the first stage of processing. We just won't get graphic with it, to having them on the table and trying to get them eviscerated, get the insides out. And on several birds, when we were getting ready to bag them, I realized I missed the lungs. So I had to get back in there and clean those out. And that's just part of the learning. I will say there is a lot to be said for a sharp knife, and I did not appreciate William as much, because when we've done any kind of processing over there, we're in the middle of cutting, William disappears, comes back, and he's got a whole set of sharp knives. I call him a kid because he's my son's age, but that young man is a master knife sharpener, I tell you what. But so processing and sharpening knives. We had plastic gloves, but they were more like food handler gloves, the big, loose, goofy looking gloves. I want to get some like Billy's got. They're more of a surgical type glove. And I really wish I had been wearing those, because one of the last birds I was processing, yep, I slipped, sliced right across 2 of my fingers, and we're still healing up, but nothing that required stitches. You're sitting right by the trees. I was just showing you the pine trees where they're going to stage for loading logs. That area right back there where you see the trees kind of V out, that little knoll there is where we're going to put Mom's house. I'm sure I've mentioned it. She was planning on moving out, and things happened. She decided she's not moving out right now, and maybe, hopefully, we're praying that someday she decides to, and we could put her house right there, and you wouldn't believe the view. I'll take a picture back when we get done here, but it's right quick. That would be more or less the view from where Mom's house would be. And yeah, that's our friend's excavator there. He's been working on that road. Well, in truth, that's been sitting there a while, but that's fine right now with gas prices the way they are. They're not making a whole lot of money logging, so this is on hold. They still have about another year and a half of we'll call it a lease to get the logging done. So no big rush. We are anxious to see the road cut up to the top of the mountain so we can get up there and more easily. You've seen our climbs. So. Okay, I know. On with the chickens, right? All right, so we processed 18 meat birds, and those are big birds. We put one in the crock pot, and large crock pot, it filled it. I mean, it felt like we had a turkey in there. It was a big bird. So 18 turkeys, 4, we were going to process 5, but we ended up catching a girl. 4 guineas, and their meat is purple. Weird. In fact, I think Vinny says a picture we'll have her put in there. But the neighbors say the meat's great. We haven't tried it yet. We're gonna share that with the neighbor. A friend that came over, she's the only one that had processed chickens before, but she was a young girl at her grandma's house. So it was all new to her. Back when she helped her grandma, it was, hey, we're having chicken tonight. Go out in the yard and off with the head. So, and our other friend brought a rooster and a hen of hers. The rooster had gotten mean, and she felt bad, and we get that. Believe me, we get that. We had a mean rooster, as you might remember. He would jump us every time we turned. But yeah, when I butchered him, Denise still shed a tear or two. So, we're in charge of these animals. We take care of them. They're a part of our lives, and so that's, it's understandable. But she was quite relieved once it was done. She's like, things are much more peaceful at my place, and that's great. So I think 25 birds in all is what we wound up processing. No, that would be 24. I think there was one more. Must have been one more. Oh, that's right. We had a rooster of our own that was just an extra rooster, and we have too many, and so it was time for him to go. So it was a good day. It was a long day. I can't thank Permapastures Farm and the family for all that they taught us and made it so that I could teach somebody else and pass it on, pay it forward kind of thing. And if you look at it from a prepper mentality, if you're sharing how to do this and showing others how to be self-sufficient, when things go really bad, those are potentially, that's 1 less, 2 less, however many people you teach, less people you have to worry about coming and trying to take from you. I'm not saying things are going bad, but
Bad things are coming.
I think you know where I stand with that stuff. Anyway, so what else? I know, like I said, we're going to get some different gloves. Probably get another couple extra knives. We if there were any more than two of us processing at a time, we wouldn't have had enough knives to help to go around. And definitely another folding table. Those ones that you can get at Sam's Club, the plastic that fold up legs. Those are great because you can cut on them and then you can bleach them, set them out in the sun, and you're good to go. I do believe, though, the chicken plucker that we have, those are incredible. We found out after we bought it, our local extension office leases, not leases, but loans one out. If you were processing chickens, you can go borrow from them. So we didn't necessarily have to buy one. I'm glad we have it, but I don't think it'll do a turkey. I mean, those meat birds, they filled that thing. I mean, I don't think a big, maybe a small turkey, maybe a hen would go in there, but certainly not a full tom. And I do want to get a bigger stock pot. I think ours is 30 quart. It's a turkey fryer, thing. But again, that got pretty full with the meat birds, and I think when we're ready to process a couple of turkeys, not going to go. But all right, one more scenery change. We're up just a little bit further. This is probably our favorite part of the property. It's just this cool area in here. There's a little creek that runs on either side of this hump, whatever you want to say, going up. And the video you saw that I think it was we made it to the top video. That's the way we went. But up, way on up there. And from up there, you can see Tennessee from our house. So, anyway, that's what that was it. Like I said, this isn't a lessons learned and things I would never do again. Well, other than, cut my fingers, but I can't say I'll never do that again. But, put in the comments if you're thinking about having chickens, meat birds, or if you've ever processed chickens. I know it's not easy. I know it's not for everybody. It's funny that while we were in the thick of it, my son called, and he was thinking about back when he was would have been about junior high. He remembers there was a pigeon that had got injured, and we wanted to put it out of its misery. And in high school I had gone dove hunting, and I don't know if any of you have dove hunted, but you bring a bird down, the way you dispatch it is to just break its neck. For whatever reason, I could not pick up that pigeon and do that to it. My son actually wound up doing it, and he's like, you've come a long way. He's like, he's like, is it easy? And I said, no, it's not easy, and I don't ever want it to be easy. Taking a life should be difficult. I said it's a responsibility. I want to be efficient at it so I do not cause any pain, make things as painless as possible. Now I'd be efficient, but I don't ever want it to be easy. That is not a goal. So, but he definitely appreciated the transition that I have gone through from a Phoenix born and raised child to mountain man, I guess.
Ooh, you're a mountain man.
Cowboy, mountain man, jack of all trades. What is it? What's the saying? It's I am a man is what I do. Jack of all trades, master of few. I know it goes on. It's further. I'll see if I can find it. But anyway, well, I need to get down there and help Denise, and you need to go over to renewedhomestead.com and get your Hori Hori knife and your comfrey root, your deodorant, and your rooting hormone. There is still time. We are in July, as you can tell from the bugs. Those purchases definitely help us out, of course, and it's the best Hori Hori knife on the market as far as I'm concerned. We use ours all the time. There's Loki. What do you think, Loki? He likes an adventure. He went over to the creek to get some water. So, all right, anything else, Bear? Can you think of anything else? He's just happy to be in the shade, as am I. So, all right, well, you all take care. Thanks for joining us, and put in the comments if you've butchered chickens, if you're going to be raising any chickens or meat birds, or what you're doing to prepare. I would be interested to know what some of the other viewers are doing out there. Otherwise, you guys, go in peace and serve the Lord. We're praying for you. Please pray for us. God bless. We'll see you on the next video. Bye.